How we doing, guys?
Let's see. What do you like about Zion?
He's really, really impressive. He's smart, tough, really physical, versatile. Played in a pro-style offense. I think from a physical standpoint, big hands, long arms, really good feet. Can really anchor and pass protection against the biggest, strongest, best interior players in the league, and just really felt like this guy was a really complete player, and in both the run game and in the pass game, and again, just his intangibles really fit what we're looking for.
You said versatility. Where is that versatility? Guard, center?
He's played for them. He's played like all three positions. He played tackle, guard, and center. We see him as an inside player. He's going to play guard for us, but he's just a really good football player and brings a real toughness that we're looking for on offense, and really impressive guy in this process.
What stood out to him, Brandon, maybe compared to some of the tackle prospects that were out there?
Yeah, we were looking for the best player available at that pick, and I feel like he was the best lineman, on our board for sure. And he's just a really well-rounded player. I think when you take a look at his college film, his Senior Bowl film, combine, pro day, he really aced all those phases of the evaluation process and the interview process with him. Like I said, this guy's got real presence, and we really felt like solidifying the interior of our line for the years to come was really, really important, both from a run game and from a pass protection standpoint. And again, I think that from a culture standpoint, this guy, he's the real thing from a toughness and a character standpoint.
You guys talked a lot coming into the draft about finding guys that can be great college players but develop and still have a lot of room. Being a late bloomer, did that fit that mold?
Yeah, I mean, if you take a look at where he started at Davidson, that progression of being a guy that was, 255 pounds his freshman year to end up, almost 320 pounds. And you take a look at his arm length, his hand size, 32 reps on the bench press. This is a really strong player. We're really looking for power players on offense, particularly inside. And now we feel like we have that. You have Matt, Corey, and Zion, and that's a really impressive trio in there. And then this guy's got all the smarts that you're looking for. And so we really felt like this was a well-rounded, complete football player, and we were really excited to have him.
Tom said that.
When did he hit your radar? When did he hit your radar?
Early in the process. I mean, obviously he had an incredible senior year there at Boston College. I've got a lot of respect for Jeff Hafley. I've known Jeff for several years. He coached in the NFL. He's done a heck of a job there. But Zion played in a pro-style offense for Cignetti there. His line coach is now the line coach for the Miami Dolphins, so he's very well trained. And you could tell in the interview process that this guy was really sharp, that he had full command of the fundamentals, the scheme. Just a very smart guy, tough guy, and a complete player. And just we felt like athletically, physical, and like I said, I think coming back to that word, complete player, that's what made him really attractive for us.
Tom said that he's going to play right guard for you guys. So the plan is to keep Matt where he is at left guard, Zion at right guard, and then sort of what's your assessment of where you guys are at right tackle then?
Yeah, I think for right now we're definitely going to keep Matt on the left side, knowing that he's played right tackle and you could always do that in a pinch. But I think for us it was making sure that left side stays strong. That was the strength of our O-line unit last year, and we really kind of believe in that chemistry. And I think that's what the plan is, to start out that way, put Zion on the right side, and then we'll see what happens here in the next few days in the draft and then after the draft. But Trey and Storm, those two guys. We have those guys on our team that have played winning football for us, and then we've had Matt, who's a tackle that's played on the right side that's played winning football. So we feel like we have depth, and we still have 2 more days of the draft, and then after the draft to keep working on the O-line, because that was a big part of what we were trying to do this offseason is really increase our depth on the O-line overall.
It feels like you guys did address virtually every need in this offseason, and hearing tonight about, you probably knew before the Thursday night game, and seeing a pretty impressive crowd out there tonight. Can you describe kind of your emotions right now, where you stand today, maybe compared to a year ago today?
Well, a year ago today, we were drafting Rashawn Slater, and I think that if you take a look at how this draft unfolded, I think if we hadn't taken Zion Johnson, it was going to happen shortly after us, and he was that highly regarded of an interior player. And I think it's very rare that you have an interior player that it's that highly thought of. And I think that that's really what we were trying to get is the best the best player at that pick, but certainly the best O-lineman. Because what you don't want to do is you reach for a tackle and then you have an issue somewhere else, and so we just really felt like this guy is a really complete player, and this guy is a first round level guard. And again, I think it was really about building that interior for the future and knowing that group is going to be able to play together for a lot of years.
Coach, you mentioned culture and character. What was it about Zion's character that you liked?
I think just his journey from high school. I mean, if you take a look at when you meet this guy, you're going to be very impressed. This guy's got real presence. When I went to his first interview at the combine, I just kind of watched him a little bit, and then you're kind of preparing for the guys that you're going to interview formally. And when he came in the room, this guy's got a real calm presence, real confidence, real poised guy. And I think that he was just, you see that presence when you're with him, and then when he starts to talk, this guy's had a really unique path to being a first-round draft pick, starting at Davidson. A lot of people know like Steph Curry, coming from there, and that's kind of where this guy started, and then he ends up in Boston College as a first-team All-American, and now the 17th pick in the draft. So it's one of those great stories of a guy that really worked at it, really developed his game, worked at it, and here he is today. And I think when you guys meet him, you'll see all that, because he's got all the smarts and the toughness that we're looking for. And and then from a physical standpoint, like he has real power. This guy's a really good athlete. He's a powerful inside player, and that's what we're looking for.
You said he was the top offensive lineman on your board. Did you mean like remaining guy, or like he was like the top?
The top. He was the top player on our board at the time that we picked at 17. And again, it was unanimous feeling from our scouts to our coaching staff. This guy really, and all the evaluation components for this guy, I mean, he really excelled. When he went to the Senior Bowl, he was one of the top players there, played a bunch of different positions there. You take a look at his college career, what he did at Boston College in a pro-style system. You're seeing him really do things that translate to the NFL. Sometimes in the offensive line position, that's what holds offensive linemen back, is that they don't really perform in a pro-style system. But from a protection standpoint, from a run game standpoint, wide zone, tight zone, gap, duo, screen game, you're really able to see this guy operate. And then at the Senior Bowl, when it's good on good, I mean, he played in the ACC, which is a great league, but then at the Senior Bowl, you're able to see him against, the best in college football, and he was outstanding. And then in the interview process, certainly aced that part of it too. So this is a very, very good football player.
Does Justin send you guys any kind of messages when you select a lineman this year or last year?
Yeah, I think he knows, he and our skill players, because it's Justin for sure, but it's also Mike and Keenan and Austin and Josh. I mean, our tight end group, who are really excited about Gerald Everett, that group, Trey, DP. So it's really about becoming a complete offensive football team, and I think that that's what we're after. But like I said, this was just about value. This was the best player that we had on our board at the time, and he happens to really fit a position, much like last year with Rashawn. Different position, certainly for an inside player, but really a component in our offense that can really help us become a complete offense.
Justin was here tonight. Was he in the room when you guys made the pick?
No, he wasn't. He got out of here. He was kind of in here, did his thing, and then after we picked, I was able to call him on his way back. But it was great to have the guys here tonight. I think that was one of my favorite parts of of today, is just our players being here, and it really makes it feel like you really feel like it's a team. To be in front of our fans in our locker room, making this pick. It was a special day, and I know that Justin was excited about the pick.
You guys obviously invested in the defense, this offseason in free agency. Sitting there at 17, a couple defensive players on the board. Any part of you as the defensive play caller that wanted to continue that investment there at 17?
Well, I really believe in the NFL draft about value. I really believe in trust in the board. I really think that that's important. You put in all this work, and I think that that's something that Tom, myself, the Spanos family, JoJo Wooden, Kevin Kelly, our college scouting director, our area scouts, and our coaching staff, that's something that we're really committed to. And I think that a lot of people talk about our defense and our kicking game, which we made big investments, but we also invested in our offense with Mike Williams and Gerald Everett. So like I said, it's about building a team. and we felt like Zion Johnson was a big addition in making that complete team come to fruition.
What was it like being in the room? Kind of first 10 picks kind of went quick, but then the 5-6 picks in front of you got a little hectic with trades.
Yeah, it started to go, with the trades, and I think, people were kind of anticipated that type of movement. I think that people maybe have anticipated it happening sooner, but then when it happened, it didn't really stop there for a while, and they're in the middle. And then you saw a couple player trades, which is kind of uncommon. So again, I think what you're seeing in the NFL is just you're seeing that innovation, that different way of thinking maybe than the way it's always been done. I think people trying to get creative with their strategic process, and I think that's a good thing for the league. I think it's really, really good for the league because people are trying to be at the forefront of building their teams. And there's a lot of different ways to do it, and I think tonight was a really good example of it.
Brandon, since pretty much the first day you got here, your intro press conference, you talked about being a line of scrimmage team, getting bigger and better on your offensive line. From where you started when you first got here to now, to have 2 All-Pros and Rashawn Slater, Corey Linsley, to have Matt, to now add another piece, like how much closer are you to being that line of scrimmage team and getting to your vision of what you wanted from this offensive line?
Yeah, Daniel, I love what you brought up there because that's what stands the test of time in the league. In the game of football, what stands the test of the time is what happens up front. And, specifically on both sides of the ball, none of your scheme comes to life if you're not good up front. And it's the one place I feel like on the field that it's really hard to make up for. If you're not good up front, it's really hard as a play caller to make up for that. Okay, and if you do, you have to compensate in such a way that it really inhibits your ability to make plays on both sides of the ball. And then I think from a culture standpoint, what you're trying to do is build a rugged, tough football team because that's what it takes in this league. And that's what I want to be known for here. I want to be known as a rugged, tough football team, that can beat you any way imaginable, offense, defense, kicking game. And I think that we're a lot closer to that, and we still have 2 more days, and then, after post-draft, and then going all the way to our first game, and I think that that's what we're committed to is exploring all those avenues. But I think up front, we're a lot closer on both sides of the ball to being where I expect to be.
To follow up on that, Coach, last season you guys had some challenges running the ball in must-have situations. Does Zion alone address that situation, or do you feel you need to kind of look for some backs or maybe another guy to kind of help in that situation?
I think it's a good question, Cam. I think, the run game is an 11-man operation, including the quarterback. But I think what we did by getting Zion here, it really balances our run game. I think last year we were a predominant left side running team in a got-to-have-it situations. That's where we were, trending, running the football. And I think what Zion does is he gives you a two-way go. And I think the other thing, that he does at a high level, which is the most important thing, is he can pass protect inside. Because, you can help tackles in this league a lot more than you can help inside players. Okay. And it's a lot easier to neutralize an edge rusher than an interior rusher. And so when you have to go block the Aaron Donalds of the world, the Chris Joneses of the world, the DeForest Buckners of the world, when you got to go block those type of players inside with the money on the line, you got to have an inside 3 that can get it done. And we feel like Zion can do that at a really high level.
When did you find out you were the Week 2 Thursday night game?
I think I found out a couple days ago, and then, there was that way to, how it was going to, all express itself and all that. But it's exciting. I think it's a good sign for our team. Obviously, we had 2, incredible games with those guys last year. If I were an NFL fan, that's what I would want to open up with. I would want to see these 2 teams go at it. So it's exciting for our team, exciting for their team. And, but at the same time, you got 1 game before that. So you got an opener long before you play Thursday. So, but it's awesome to be a part of it. Al Michaels was able to announce it, a legend, and, he's going to be calling that game. So really special for our team and for our fans.
As a coach, advantageous that you get the Thursday night game Week 2 compared to maybe last year when it was later in the season?
I'll tell you on Friday night after the game, whether it was or not,
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, guys.
Thanks,
Great to
Brandon.
see you.